The Niger Labour Congress shut down banks and offices that opened for business of the day in Abuja on Monday morning against the strike directive of the Niger Labour Congress. The picketing started with a construction site at the central area of Abuja, followed by locking up of all banks that opened for businesses in the area and other parts of the country. Chairman of the Trade Union Congress, FCT Council Audu Akongu, who led the picketing, said there is no going back on the industrial action declared by the Congress. If the federal government refuses to yield to the demands, Akongu urged government to make life bearable for Nigerians by increasing the minimum wage, reducing electricity tariffs, reverse fuel subsidy to make average Nigerians live well. Other workers who spoke to Galaxy TV crew urged Nigerians to join NLC in the strike so as to achieve a low-cost living for the common man. They lamented the increase of food items, transportation, house rent, among others, while appealing to the federal government to hasten action to end the course of the indefinite strike in the country. And still on Monday, President Bola Tinubu said the completion of critical infrastructure projects across Nigeria by his administration is a clear example of what the country is capable of achieving when its leaders decide to work together towards a common goal, irrespective of political divide and personal interest. Accordingly, he noted that the commissioning of the expanded Outer Southern Expressway completed by the FCT administration is a testament to the power of collaboration and partnership that goes beyond political and other affiliations. The president stated this on Monday at the presidential commissioning ceremony of the full-scope development of the Outer Southern Expressway from Villa Roundabout to Ring Road 1 in Abuja. The president was represented by his deputy Vice President Kashim Shettima, noted that the expanded significance of the completed project. President Tinubu described it as another important achievement and a milestone for his renewed hope administration. The president said what is unfolding in the Capital Territory is a testament to what can be achieved with the government's renewed hope agenda of positive transformation for the FCT and indeed Nigeria. And on Tuesday, in a swift response to the suspension of the ongoing strike by the Labour Congress and TUC on the new minimum wage and electricity tariff, the Senate on Tuesday adjusted its course of action on the matter earlier today. Following intensive negotiations between government representatives and union leaders, the organized labour agreed to temporarily suspend the strike pending further discussions on their key demands pertaining to enhanced wages and electricity tariffs. Correspondent Kuli Ojo reports that during the deliberations, Senator Dicket Plang, representing Plateau Central, had emphasized the critical importance for the Labour Congress and its affiliates to engage in ongoing negotiations, highlighting potential adverse effects on the nation's economy and the welfare of its citizens should the situation remain unsolved. Seconding the motion, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau acknowledged that the parliamentary response had been superseded by the suspension of the action. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, commended the NLC for their decision to suspend the strike and advocated for a comprehensive approach to resolving the issue at hand. Still on Tuesday, after 75 out of 90 days suspension slammed on him by the Senate on March 12, 2024, Senator Abdul Nigi, PDP Bauchi Central, formally resumed legislative activities at the Senate on Tuesday in plenary. The Senate had on Tuesday last week, on the strength of motion sponsored by the Minority Leader, Senator Abba Moro, on behalf of the Minority Caucus, recalled Senator Ningi from the 3-month suspension. Correspondent Kuli Ojo reports that Senator Nigi was suspended by the Senate at the Committee of the Whole on 2024 budget padding allegation leveled against the Senate during an interview he had with newsmen. Apparently elated to be back in the Senate, Senator Ningi was among the first set of senators and House Representatives members to arrive at the National Assembly for plenary on Tuesday. Senator Ningi, who along with some few other senators like Suleiman Kawu, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal and the rest came into the National Assembly through the Villa Gate, arrived exactly at 10:40 a.m., 20 minutes to 11 a.m., fixed for commencement of plenary, which even started at about 12:10 p.m. And on Wednesday, the Nigerian Senate considered a bill to establish the National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission. The legislation seeks to address the prolonged conflict between farmers and herders, advocating for a nationwide ban on open grazing and the establishment of ranches. Correspondent Kuli Ojo reports that the proposed legislation, which was sponsored by Senator Titus Tarenga, representing Benue Northwest, sought to control and regulate cattle rearing ranching business across the country. The bill specifically proposes that ranches should be established in pastoralist states without forcing it in other states that does not have pastoralist communities. However, some northern senators called for extra caution in passing the bill given its trail of controversies in the past. Supporting a consideration of the bill, other lawmakers believe that the proposed commission, if established, would manage the farmer headers crisis. The bill, after consideration, was referred to President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, to the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Judiciary and Legal Matters to be reverted in 4 weeks. And still on Wednesday, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, instructed all its branches to issue a 2-week ultimatum to chief medical directors and managing directors to promptly pay the allowance owed their members. The association, in a communique issued after a general meeting held in Kaduna, warned that failure to comply with the directive will result in nationwide industrial actions. The communique was signed by Dr. Dele Abdullahi Olaiton, President Dr. Anaduakaf Christopher, Secretary General, and the Public and Special Secretary. During the meeting, the association also advocated for the elimination of the casualization of doctors to ensure equitable and secure employment practices in the country. Additionally, they urge healthcare facilities to expedite their migration to the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System (IPPIS) to streamline payroll procedures. The doctors emphasized their stance that any assault on medical workers would lead to an immediate withdrawal of services until the safety of the area is guaranteed for practice. They called upon the National Assembly to pass legislation criminalizing assault on healthcare professionals. They also requested a reduction in examination fees for the West African colleges of surgeons and physicians to facilitate the registration of resident doctors. And on Thursday, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Wale Edun, presented a new minimum wage template to President Bola Tinubu, meeting the 48-hour deadline. The Finance Minister, Wale Edun, along with the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, presented Tinubu with the cost implications of the new minimum wage in his office at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. According to the report, the new proposal suggests a minimum wage of 105,000 naira, which is approximately $220 per month for Nigerian workers. Tinubu is currently reviewing this proposal, and an official announcement is expected soon. These developments follows a recent strike by labor unions, which began on Monday after their meeting with the National Assembly leadership failed to produce a satisfactory outcome. The strike disrupted economic activities nationwide, leading to the closure of international airport, school, courts, banks and hospitals. Members of the organized labor comprising the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress suspended the strike for 5 days. And still on Thursday, the Nigerian Senate confirmed John Agama as the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). The upper chamber of the National Assembly also confirmed Samia Usman, Abimbola Ajomale and Fana Chukwugo as full-time Commissioner of SEC. The confirmation of the nominees followed the consideration of a report by the Senate Committee on Capital Markets during Thursday's plenary. The report was laid and presented by Senator Sita Isu-Naso, Chairman, Senate Committee on Capital Market. The nominees were confirmed by the Senate after consideration of the report by the Committee on Capital Market. In a similar development, the upper chamber of the National Assembly also confirmed Honorable Kayode Oladele as member, Federal Character Commission (FCC). The nominees' confirmation followed the consideration of the Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs. And on Friday, the governors of the 35 states of the Federation rejected the proposal of 60,000 naira as a new minimum wage in Nigeria, saying that such amount isn't realistic or sustainable. Recall that the federal government had, during their negotiations, offered the sum of 60,000 naira to the organized labor, which they roundly rejected and proceeded on an indefinite strike. However, there's a new twist to the situation, as the governors, under the auspices of Nigeria Governors Forum, have said that they cannot pay 60,000 naira. In a press release signed by its acting director on media affairs and public affairs, Hajia Halima, the NGF holds that the 60,000 naira minimum wage proposal is not sustainable and cannot fly. The forum added that such amount as the new minimum wage would simply mean that many states will spend all their FAC allocation on just paying salaries with nothing left for development purpose, adding that few states will end up borrowing to pay workers every month. They called for caution in the negotiation while urging the labor unions to consider all the socio-economic variables and settle for an agreement that is sustainable, durable, and fair to all other segments of the society who have legitimate claim to public resources. And still on Friday, the Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal fined the prominent pay TV operator MultiChoice Nigeria, owners of DSTV and GoTV, 150 million naira for disputing the court's jurisdiction, and ordered the company to provide Nigerians with a 1-month free subscription to its DSTV and GoTV packages. A 3-man panel led by Thomas Okusu gave the verdict on Friday. The tribunal had previously blocked MultiChoice from raising subscription fees without proper notice based on a lawsuit by Barrister Festus, who claimed the 8-day notice given for the price increase was inadequate. Festus had sued DSTV accusing the pay TV of unjustly increasing subscription fees without 1 month notice to customers and leveraging on it to seek interim orders. Counsel for MultiChoice had contended that previous rulings had settled price regulation issues, while Festus focused on the inadequate notice rather than the price hike itself, prompting the tribunal to affirm its jurisdiction and rule against MultiChoice. Subsequently, the court fixed July 3rd for hearing of the substantive suit of the plaintiff. And that's all we have on Tracking the Week.